We've arrived here at the winery for the 3 o'clock tour, and it's sort of 5 to 3. Very smart again, you know. And here's your Pinot Noir grapes. Oh, this one even got when it's planted.
What? Oh! Is that
Mrs. Beth.
I think they're expecting us.
We look to be expected.
Well, I think I should get you. Really impressive. Yeah, both the best.
Come on.
Okay, okay.
You make a nice photograph.
Yes, this way. Tasting there. Tim. Right. There's the visitor hall. Reception.
Winery architecture.
I've only got.
Otherwise, we have umbrellas if we start getting really rainy.
Oh, there's the thunderstorm.
Or gusty. We'll have to. We have some glasses here waiting.
Oh, yes, this is.
I think it was. Oh, okay. I did see.
Oh, wow.
I think it was on the top.
Wow.
In the top
Oh,
two
that is
papers.
for us.
Okay.
So maybe we'll get a picture here. Looks like a Kodak moment. Definitely.
Wonderful. So you've been to Mission Hill before? Has everyone been to Mission Hill before?
No, two of our visitors are from the UK. So,
Okay.
yeah.
We're from London, so.
Wonderful. One for me too, please. Are you doing okay temperature-wise out here?
Oh yeah, I'm okay, but it's the rain is coming.
Yeah.
I was swimming in the lake this morning in the rain.
It wasn't too bad, was it? That's good. Yeah. Yeah, wonderful. Well, cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Chin 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 chin.
Wonderful. So welcome.
Thank you.
So I'll just point out while we're here standing, so if you want to look up, this is kind of what we call the keystone. So it's the key, the stone of the arches that joins everything together. And if you see it's actually initials, ABM on the very bottom. It looks like Roman numerals, but exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then the Pelican crest actually was given to the family in 1801, and it's a symbol of the door.
Yeah, the estate room, you know.
It doesn't need photograph, it means video.
Alright. So does everyone think of the rosé?
Oh, it's very nice.
Yes. It's a very good drinking wine.
Pretty easy. It's usually good for a hot day on the patio. Your linen.
Yeah.
You know when you go and smell perfume all the time, they sometimes give you coffee beans? Same idea. It's so that you can start, once you just keep smelling wine for a long time, it starts to smell the same.
Yeah.
So to keep your palate fresh. This is the handmade pewter label, so it's a good indication of our top tier Chardonnay.
Yes,
So, you know how I said when you get the aroma and the bouquet comes from the secondary characteristics of the cigar box and all that. But if it went into stainless steel, you get wet stone, metallic, stainless steel, petrol sometimes, minerality.
Yeah. Okay.
And last but not least, do you like it? Would 1 out of 10? Would you buy it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
There you
Very
go.
nice.
So this one retails for $35.
And I know in restaurants it's on the wine list for $100.
I never buy wine if it's over 30% because I'm personally offended.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you trying to swindle me here? What's going on? I know what this is for.
Yeah.
So a little bit of food and then we can taste. So, do we have any vegetarians?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Okay. Okay, so the wine that you're going to drink next is a Riesling. And this one, the vineyard is located when you're exiting the winery on the right-hand side, that little bit of vineyard on the residence on it. So that vineyard actually is dedicated to Anthony von Mandel's late father Martin. So we call that the Martin's Lane Vineyard. And actually we grow pears there as well in the vineyard. So right next to the Riesling we grow pear. So here we have an Okanagan spiced pear wrapped in prosciutto with a little bit of dollop of vanilla, kind of like a puree with some star anise and herbs on the top. So
do you have to?
They don't produce very much fruit until they're about 3 years old, and then they start producing fruit. But then as it starts getting a little bit older into its primal ages, it produces quite a bit of waypoint of the lake. So our lake is 120 kilometers long. So if you're interested why we're called Mission Hill, so we're standing on the hill, but Father Pendozi was one of the first missionaries to Cologne, and he deposited here quite early. And where his first deposit was in the mission area of Kelowna. So that area is named Mission, and the view that we have is of the mission. So when you're standing on the Mission Hill and you look east, then that's typically what the view is. So we used to have this name called Mission Hill for the hill for early 1900s, and then actually went through a period of change. It went into a First Nations name, and then it came back to Mission Hill several years later.
What was that?
I don't know the name of
It's
the
very
First
interesting,
Nations
yeah.
name, but yeah.
And Mission Hill is now one of the largest wineries, right?
Yes, yeah, and we were here. We were one of the first 6.
Yes,
as well.
yeah, right.
So I don't know if you can see, but that little island way down there, it's very small. We call that Rattlesnake Island, and right around the bench is Naramata Ranch. So that's one of our wineries where we do kind of our Merlot and a little bit warmer climate. So typically they get 2 degrees, maybe 5 degrees warmer each day, and as well as 2 weeks longer as far down to the U.S. border. So anything big, red, and needs to really ripen, we definitely grow down further south, whereas all the Pinot Noir and the cooler climate grapes can stay further north. Yeah. So even if you notice, we've had a lot of rain, so the mountains are still a little bit green, but they're starting to brown up and burn up. So the outside of our building is actually made to design to blend in with our surroundings in the summer months. So the one thing is our landscape artist was from Switzerland, and our architect, Tom Kundig. He's very internationally renowned, but based out of Seattle, but he does lots of wineries and monasteries in Europe. So even you can tell we're in a subdivision, but when you're kind of in the grounds and stuff, you really can't tell. All the plants are non-indigenous to Canada. They're all plants that you'd find around the vineyards in Europe and things like that. But yeah, and this table, actually, we call this the Belvedere Vantage Point. And if you're a wine club member, you can book this and have a little private dining experience with your own little server and menus and yeah.
Nice little fire when it gets cold.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, wonderful. Would you like me to take a picture of you guys?
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay, since, yeah, we've got all our cameras out.
This thing about
Don't really have any
fireplaces
bad
here.
days.
I've got this thing about fireplaces
Yeah, we're
here.
looking for a new fireplace.
Oh, it'll be locked, so if you need to leave it
Yes, I'll leave my handbag here.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
All right. We're gonna
We're
come
going
on
walking.
down this way.
Okay, through the cellar.
We're gonna go through the and,
So the energy's concentrating
all,
the good
and this
stuff.
one gets the most flavor and acid and tannin. So if we look the way the cycle of the vine works, see if we can find. Okay, well, this is on its way. Here's a little one starting.
Oh, so that will be a bunch of
A
grapes
tiny,
eventually?
yeah,
Wow.
there, and here's
Yeah.
a little bit more.
Yeah.
and then it will grow into. Okay, so then see how this one is almost like that, but starting to get stamens coming out of it.
Oh, yes.
And then this one has even more stamens coming out from it. So what happens is vines are self-pollinators. They don't need a male and a female part. So what they do is they actually grow this stamen out the middle, a little bit of wind, a little bit of bees, a little bit of water, anything, and it pollinates. So sometimes with all this rain that we can have is it can break off all these stamens, and you can come back in August and you'll be like, oh, nothing really happened to that bunch and it just didn't pollinate. So
So do they ever have a flower? Is there like a flower?
this
that grows?
is
That
we
is the
call
That's it.
well actually flowering. Yes, this is what we call flower.
Yeah,
And you
okay.
can see it has the little one on the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first bud break, or flowering, and then we're gonna get fruit set.
Yeah.
And then and then let's see if I can pick a better one out.
Very clear on the documentation.
Actually, yes.
As
that's
the
right.
label expert, you would.
I should be documenting that.
Yes, document. Yeah. And here's the Chardonnay. This is the back of the winery. And tourists are taking pictures.
And then pink martini. So they actually set up 1,200
Oh, and this is a
chairs all
Riesling.
along the amphitheater there, and even the front. The chairs are meant for the slope.
This is where they dine, it seems, the family.
There's another fireplace for you.
Oh, it's a bubble.
Another fireplace over there for you, Richard.
Yeah. Oh, yes, she knows
It's a bit
the
more
ballad.
size.
So are you from here?
Fireplace number 2.
Yeah, so if you guys notice the bell towers actually, the bells peal, they go off at 12 o'clock and 5 o'clock, and they go off for 5 minutes at 12 and 5, but other than that they go off 9 dings for 9 o'clock, and then once for 15 minutes, twice for the half an hour, 3 for the 45, so you don't need to wear a watch. So now it's gonna. And then actually, so with the. Yeah.
Oh my God. Is it? And they've got logs, you see. And the barrels are here. Wow, as far as you can see.
So this is during the Delta?
Actually, this one takes you to where's the doorway?
Or just at that?
Yeah, where those people were standing.
Oh, that's where.
Actually, below those people, that's amazing.
That's the bell tower, you see.
But you can see the stairs for the bell tower right up there. You get vertigo if you go up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, it's dizzy, queasy. Yeah. So this is our display vineyard. So the very first thing you can notice is the sound. So it keeps it at 80% humidity. Yeah, and it's actually 12 to 14 degrees.
Always,
Yeah, unless we're going under malolactic fermentation.
He must be very proud.
Oh. 63. Yeah. And that's the thing is when he gave the prize to Tom Kundig, he couldn't afford it. He actually started the Mark Anthony group, so he was the very first one to have distribution rights of Corona out in Canada, and the first one to do fruit ciders other than pear and apple.
Tim, how come I can't get into
It is. He's $dollars. So we do a mixture of both, just for certain characteristics of what we're looking for.
But the color means something, I think. But I
Does
can't
anybody
remember
know
what.
why the outside of the
I can't
barrel is
remember
red?
what.
So like I said, they're porous, right? So they breathe, so evaporation. So instead of having, as it evaporates, the liquid drops down, but we can't have all that head space because that will premature age the wine.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll dedicate this one barrel as the topping up barrel, and we'll empty it into a bunch of jugs, and then we'll go around and pull the bunt out every month, and we'll top it up. And when we top it up way to the top, and it spills over, and somebody comes and paints it in for aesthetic purposes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So do you get your barrels made in North America or France? Or?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, we order some from France and some from America.
Yeah, because American oak's pretty good for barrels, isn't it?
American oak, yep, it is. It's French oak, I think, has a little bit more qualitative reputation.
Yes, yeah.
They also cost up to $1,500, whereas the American oak is only $700, $500. Yeah. Deep or light or medium, nothing. There are more.
The bell tower's ringing 4 o'clock, you see.
Right. In comparison to the pork. So sometimes there's one or two of the notches in between the things that will be leaking air slowly. So if a stelvin is done properly, it actually is better than the pork. But chances are maybe 1 out of 10 stelvins instead of 1 out of 10 porks will be improperly sealed, and in wineries, I used to work at a different winery, and sometimes they'd be like, oh yeah, we're low screw cap issues, and you go through 50 pallets of Merlot making sure that the screw caps, each notch was sealed. Artist that,
This is the orchard wine.
Pretty much, in 2010 we had about 50 pieces of her artwork all among the winery, and it was kind of like a gallery style format, but it was very short-lived. She wanted her artwork back, so unfortunately we should I be dividing yours up amongst theirs?
I guess so.
Would you like to taste it with the food pairing?
I'll pass.
Okay. Wine with compendium cheese. So it's an aged Gouda with, you can see a little bit of red veins in between, and those red veins are from the compendium wine. And then the pearls, the part that you see that kind of looks like caviar, it's actually beet, the beet vegetable. They've taken the juice from it, reduced it over heat into a big thick gelatin, and put it in some agar to make it more gelatin and piped out.
They're beet fans, so this is very good. Yeah.
So this is
That's really nice one.
and this is a Bordeaux blend. So if you're familiar with Bordeaux, it's a region in France. Everyone knows there's probably a river going. There's a river going down the region. Oh. For me personally, I think wine is good after, in my term, like my boss will say this is 15, I say 8, 9, because it gets so thin, it gets so brickish, and half of it is sediment at that time.
That's right, you've got to decant it.
The fruit is gone. I mean, you're just getting so much bouquet from it that all the fruit is.
You're basically just showing that you can buy a bottle of wine for $1 million.
Yes.
Exactly.
I think it's the pickup truck high you get mentality.
I think so.
Older the wine.
One of the things we considered doing, because we're near the big specialty liquor wine store in Vancouver, and we were thinking maybe we could get 2 bottles of wine for our 2 daughters upon birthday.